Wow, would you look at these? So one of the things I've been trying to do in 2022 is become a little bit more environmentally aware of the type of fishing that I do, and I've tried really hard to try and get rid of all of my soft plastic lures and try and replace them with more environmentally friendly ones. So there's a couple of companies that do biodegradable or advertise biodegradable lures, so things like Eco Aqua, some of the Berkeley Gulp, they're all biodegradable. And one of the companies that I found was this Nikko worm. So I got these from Amazon Japan. This is the collection I've got so far. I'm really impressed with them, and I thought it might be worth just going through some of the different patterns just to see if they'd be useful in your fishing. I mainly do micro, kind of super ultralight lure fishing, so that's kind of going for perch that maybe kind of under 10 centimeters, roach, multi-species. I've had some quite decent fish on, so these ones, for example, these are a little caddis fly larvae replicant. I've had perch up to about just over 2 pounds on these. So all of the Nikko baits are made out of this really stretchy, durable material. So they're all made, well, there's two different types. There's Nikko Dappy, which is what this one is, which is incredibly soft. Dappy, I believe, means shed, so something's like an insect that's shed its skin. It goes nice and soft, and that's what the Dappy, I believe, stands for. So they're all soft. The Dappy ones are softer. They're all incredibly buoyant, so you put this on a size 18, 16 hook, it's gonna pop up right off the bottom. I've got some video actually that I'll link to that, of this particular pattern underwater. So they have the slightly bigger ones of this, the bigger pattern, have a hollow tubing. I'm not too sure if these ones are hollow or not, but they're super buoyant, super durable. There isn't much action or in the way of action, so they are soft. They do wobble around a little bit, but if we have a look at one on a cheb, so this SS decoy SS, it's SS3, I think it is, SG3 in SS size, sits on there really well. Nice amount of hook showing, and then as this bounces along the bottom, the cheb weight sits on the bottom, and this thing is buoyant enough to pop this hook up. So as you're hopping it along the bottom, this thing will sit up. Good pattern. I've had grayling, trout, perch, roach, bream. I've even had a carp on one of these as well. So they've got these little appendages on the side. Maybe do make some micro vibrations, but all in all, I think it's more of a sight pattern. So if the fish are really kind of keyed into feeding on small invertebrates, they'll see this, and rather than it being something a bit more showy like with the octopus, it might get you a bite on those days where they're not really up for chasing something, or reaction bites, a bit like if you're fly fishing and you're trying to find and match the hatch. So that's the caddis, the small caddis. The large caddis, that's this one. So I think this is 1.5 inches. So that's how it sits on an offset hook. There's no groove down, so there will be a little bit of the hook point showing, but I've never really found that to be much of an issue. So this one, I don't know if you can see, that is hollow. So that helps with the buoyancy. Again, this is on a 2 gram jig, cheb head, so that kind of sits up like that. Again, I've got some underwater footage that I'll link to that, of what this looks in the water. Again, very soft, super stretchy, really durable, but not a massive amount of action in the water. I don't really think with these particular patterns it makes that much of a difference. The fish see it and hit it because they think it's a natural food source, so natural food item. So yeah, even though there isn't much in the way of appendages, it still works really well. Again, perch, pike, trout, grayling, chub, everything seems to love the caddis larvae. So the next one that we'll go on to is my favourite, which are these pinworms. So as you can see, I've got quite a selection of these. I really like the pink. The green seems to do really well in clearer water, certainly in salt water. I found these transparent ones with the pink glitter in really good. Again, these are super buoyant. This is one on a 34 Komame jig head, 1 gram jig head. One of my favourite jig head patterns, really peculiar, very long shank, but once the hook's in, doesn't seem to want to come out. Again, same material, super stretchy. Link, or I'll cut in now to where I've got some underwater footage of these. One thing I've noticed that certainly when it's mounted or dressed like this on a jig head is that the hook weighs it down, so it kind of sits like this in the water if you hold it stationary, which is okay. It doesn't look particularly natural, but it kind of, this tail is so buoyant that even under tension, it'll kind of sit away from the hook. Again, great for perch, small roach. They absolutely love this. Great in saltwater too. Common blennies, tom pots. I think they'd be great for mackerel, scad, things like that. Again, super durable. And if I take this off, what it comes with, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's actually a tube that runs down the body. So this fat part of the body is hollow, and there's a tube down there which allows you to feed the hook down a little easier. I'm not address that very well, but that'll do for now. So that's the pinworm, by far my favourite pattern. Again, pink, my favourite, but they all work. Next one, probably the most showy of the ones that I've got. This is the 1.5 inch octopus. It's much longer, I think, than 1.5 inches, but I will measure it up just to double check. This one's an interesting one. I think this is more like a skirt for dressing other things. So you could theoretically feed another lure at the middle of this, but I tend to fish these on their own. Amazing action underwater. These again, super soft, super stretchy. The detail, I don't know if you can see that, but it's even got the suckers underneath the tentacles. Absolutely incredible. Same material, super stretchy, super durable, non-toxic. This one is quite hollow, so it does need a bigger jig head on it, so it gap all the way through it. But that in the water is just absolutely amazing. Each one of these separates, it doesn't stick to each other, just drifts around, looks absolutely just brilliant. If you let it settle, even with this jig head here, it'll pop it up off the bottom, so it'll sit kind of like that, I guess. With these all up, kind of moving around in the current. Perch, I mean, yeah, what perch wouldn't hit that? The only problem I found with them is that pike really like them. That movement is just absolutely irresistible. But chub, perch, pike, trout, they're all gonna absolutely smash this. Just absolutely amazing. And that will lead me on to the second to last one. I don't want to go on too long. This is the Dappy sandworm. This is 3.3 inches, which is, I wouldn't usually fish a lure this big. This is actually on not a great offset hook, size 2. It probably needs to be a worm hook. The gape for me is just a bit too much, so it could do with coming across there, a slightly narrower gauge, but again, just absolutely brilliant. So stretchy. That is not going, that is what, three times its original length, straight back, absolutely no problem. I know Victor, on his YouTube channel iFish, he's used the Nikko worms, and I think he's caught like 50 panfish on the same lure. You know, and those things have got, you know, quite substantial little teeth, and there's been no issues with breakages or anything like that. This one and these actually glow in the dark as well, so it's like a really nice subtle green colour. Then you charge them with a head torch or anything, a torch on your iPhone or your mobile phone, and works really well. This sits again really nice and pops right up off the bottom. This tail, because it's so soft, any little current just gives it a wonderful little bit of movement. Really good perch, pike, again, just, yeah, absolutely amazing. On the coast, you'd think, you know, flatties, plaice, flounder, you know, absolutely love that. Just bounce gently across the bottom, just as that tail kind of bounces around a little bit. So that's the Dappy sandworm. And lastly, which I used extensively last winter, is this one. This one's a bit of a wild card. It looks disgusting, but what this is it's Nikko Dappy, so it's the soft one, but it's called Sashi, and it's actually like a fly larvae mimic. It's got to be the smallest artificial lure that I know of that's fully formed rather than just break it up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's even got the little ridges of where the maggot would have its ridges. Absolutely amazing. These are brilliant on Tanago rigs. So I get my Tanago rigs from Tanago Max, but any kind of small hook pattern, you know, size 22, size 26 I've had quite a number of species on this last year during the winter league. So I had bitterling, stone loach, sunbleak, minnows, micro little dace, rough, bullheads, everything. I mean, there is no action to it, obviously. You can get it in white, and I think they do a black one as well. The white one to me is just, yeah, just sight fished, just on a split shot rig. Absolutely incredible. Saltwater, I've had sand gobies, common gobies, all the little things basically. Just an absolute brilliant little lure. So that's my collection of Nikko lures, and that's the good things about them. So we've got good things, which is durability. I mean, these things they just don't really break. They're so stretchy, they're hyper buoyant. The early ones are biodegradable, and the older ones are made, the newer ones are made with a non-toxic compound, so it's digestible. It won't bung fish up if they swallow them, and it passes straight through. The slight downside is the cost. So for example, these, so for five baits, and that was £5.50. So what's that, maybe like, I don't know, $6. Then shipping on top of that as well. The octopus were a little bit more. I think they were £6.50 for 5. The Dappy sandworms, again, £4 to £5. The caddis, I think they're £4 to £5 again, so they're not particularly cheap. But if you compare that to the price of a decent metal or a packet of Nikko, if you packet of Berkeley Gulp, you know, you're probably talking again £4 or £5 for that. You get more, but not quite so durable. I mean, I think I highly rate these. As I say, I've tried to this year switch across to using either fully biodegradable lures or environmentally friendly lures. And of all of the ones that I've tried, these are by far and away the best quality in the attention to detail, with the hollow chambers and the worm to allow that hook to go through, the ridges even down onto the little sashi. Just the detail and the craftsmanship that goes into these baits is absolutely incredible. The squid, the octopus, they come in, I think, 4 or 5 different sizes up to about 6 inches. The worms come in 2 different sizes. This is the 1.9. I think they do a 3 or 3.2 or something like that as well. There's some other really nice patterns that I don't have, which is they do like a tadpole pattern, which I think Jamie sells at Needham Specialist Tackle. And then for bigger perch, they do things like Ned, like stick baits and things like that. So all in all, like, I just think that, yeah, it's a incredible product. It's nice that there are some products out there that are maybe considering the environmental impact a little bit more, and I would just highly recommend them. I think if you were just going to be more general fishing, I'd probably go for either the worm or the small caddis. If you're into bigger perch and pike, then definitely the octopus and the sandworm. But I hope this has been of some use. I know when I was looking at buying some of these, I couldn't really find that much on either YouTube or any other kind of written articles that really showed in detail what these things look like. They're quite expensive, so you kind of want to know what you're getting before you commit to it. But I certainly would buy again. I will say that the newer versions of these actually come in slightly bigger packs. So I think you get like 8 or 10 in a pack compared to the 5 here. But yeah, other than that, I think just, yeah, go out and buy some. Really good products, really pleased with them, and they'll certainly catch a lot of fish. Well, that's it, catch you next time.